one of the top insiders of the association, covering it as he does for ESPN, our friends at the Worldwide Leader in Sports. Always love having Brian Windhorst on the show. Brian, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Rich, at some point when we have these people don't have symptoms have a chance to get these tests, I wonder if you'll be rooting for a positive, that you'll be rooting that you had it and didn't know.
Correct.
You'll get the test back and says, oh yeah, you had it. And you'll be like, yes, I had it.
I had it, but we also still just don't know what that means. We still don't know what that means. We don't know if that truly means we're immune, or we're immune for a period of time. That doesn't mean that we can all go to some concert, you know what I mean, or a sporting event.
Yeah.
But it would mean potentially that we could donate blood to help somebody right now, which I would do in a heartbeat if I knew that. So and the reason why we bring this all up is in the prism of when a sports league can open back up again. I give you the floor on what the NBA is currently internally discussing on that front as best you know.
Yeah, I've been scolded by people in the league in the last few days for being too pessimistic. So I'm going to just try to play it straight down the middle of the fairway here. I have spent a lot of time, Rich, talking to people, who are in China or involved with the Chinese Basketball Association. And I can hear eye rolls because they say, well, listen, China isn't always truthful. And I agree. Of course they're not. But I don't have a selection of 15 different leagues in 8 different countries that I can look that are 2 or 3 months ahead of us. I have to work with what we have. And in both China and Japan, they've had setbacks in terms of basketball. Now, baseball, they're trying in Korea, and baseball is a very different sport. It's open air. There's not as much contact, although you're touching the ball. It's a different sport altogether. But those leagues have had difficulty going there because of which we were just talking about, asymptomatic carriers. So until you have a test that is, number one, workable, that you don't have to wait 5 or 6 days for, and number 2, that you can take it without taking resources away from the front lines, then I really don't think we're going to get out of the batter's box. And I know that there are people saying that, these tests are going to be available in 6 weeks or 3 weeks or 15 minutes or whatever. Let me know when they're available. Don't promise me when they're available, because I remember a couple of weeks ago when nobody could find a test anywhere, and the Surgeon General saying, no problem, we'll have 1 million tests by the end of the week. That didn't happen. So don't give me any deadlines about products that don't exist. So until we have testing, there is really difficult to have any real discussion about getting back until that exists. And they don't have that ubiquitously yet in China, where they can get their league back on its feet. And I think that's important to realize.
Well, I guess there's also apps that I'm reading about that if people report I'm feeling well, or I'm reporting I'm not feeling well, that you may be able to be better contact tracing all of this. But you're right, we're not anywhere close.
That's great for society, but I can feel fine, and I may be carrying it and giving it to you. That's what the issue has been in China, is the asymptomatic carriers. Now, there's good news in China. I think I read today, I can't say for sure, I heard that the Wuhan airport reopened, and I know that that city's coming back to alive. That's a really good sign for us that they're getting past it. But it's the people that don't know that they have it, that aren't even showing a temperature, because that's the one thing that people are saying is, well, we're going to test people's temperatures every time they walk in and out of a building. Well, that may identify somebody who's beginning to show symptoms. But if you don't have symptoms, it's not going to help. Asymptomatic carriers are the stumbling block to returning to sports from a medical standpoint. Then there's obviously the societal and political standpoint of you better not be taking away from society by doing it.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.